Do you want me to send it? Yeah.
Whole bunch of stuff.
Instead of printing them out, I'll just send it. I don't know if you want to include it in the monthly newsletter, just every September, or October, or whatever.
Yeah, that or
going
we could,
forward.
that or if you send it to me, we can attach one thing after each minute.
Okay.
Since we're fighting against UV light out here,
So it pronounced to me very much, you know, the profile of the house, as it will call my attention. So I am using a paper I never painted before. It arrived today at 4 o'clock in my house. You see, it's from China. It has a really good reputation that I just like it, you know. I mean, like it, all the comments that they do, you know, about the paper. So let's see how it works for me today. But,
What's the name of it again, Victor?
The name of this paper is Bao Hong. Bao Hong, yeah. For everybody.
If you could show the camera.
Okay. The Bao Hong.
There you go. Perfect.
Yes. It's a rough paper. I was painting before. This one, which is a Bao Hong, but it's a cool press. Okay, everybody is in the field of watercolor, right? So we know the terminology. So today I was planning different things. I was planning to just making this view. I sketch in vertical in pencil. And after that, before I come in here, let me take this clip here. I just painted like a sketch, very fast, with the colors and the sky and everything. You see that between the drawing and the sketching.
Did you do the painting at home?
What do you say?
You did the color one at home?
Yes, yes. It was the test for the paper too, because it's the first time, this is my first painting with this kind of paper. So I don't want surprise. But anyway, today I had a surprise. You know, right 4 o'clock, so I just jumped in. Yeah, but I know more or less how this paper works. So this was I was planning to do today, but anyway, when I see this corner, and this building is marvelous building. I mean, the color of the brick, the texture on the wall caught my attention. Planted trees, perfect trees in the top. Unfortunately, I don't want to have it too much time to make it too much detail, so I try to find out how I can simplify the details of the house. Remember, I'm watercolorist for a long time, but now I'm becoming urban sketcher. So urban sketcher means you need to sketch fast as possible. Time is important, you know. So before I just making my watercolor sometimes 1 day, 2 days, very slow. And now it's not like that. You need to be like that. Yes. It's trying to freeze your mind, because immediately the mind is there. You start to making details, and this is beautiful, this is it. And this is more spontaneous. Increase your quality to just live the moment. Now on here, familiar this terminology for you. Well, that's it, the sketching. Let's go to making this in half an hour, you know? But this is the basic of this technique. That's it.
So I'll take this minute to just say welcome everybody back to our first in-person meeting in, I think, 18 months or so. So thank you for coming, and hopefully we'll be able to continue with some of our outdoor events. Have a seat, Lynn. And we're just going to jump right into the demo. since, as I was saying, like we're trying to hold the light and we want to get as much of the demonstration through as we can. So I'm going to have Kim go ahead and introduce Victor, and then we'll just get started.
Oh, hi. We're very lucky tonight to have Victor Beltran come show us what he does very fast. He's a native of Lima, Peru, but he moved to Pittsburgh in 1986. He is an architect by trade, but he also does absolutely amazing artwork. He has taught, he's sketched and painted for over 40 years all around the world. He has collections in Fallingwater, Phipps Conservatory, Cook Forest, Carnegie Museum. He's won numerous awards, and he has over 50 years experience in architecture and illustration and watercolor. He does workshops. He has served as vice president of the Pittsburgh Watercolor Society, and he is a member of the Associated Artists of Pittsburgh as well. And most recently, he has been the judge of the member show at the North Hills Arts Center. Thought I'd throw that in there. So we are very fortunate to have him here tonight to show us what he does. So I won't take any more of your time, Victor. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's okay. It's a lot of information about me. Wonderful. Thank you. Nice presentation. Okay. So, probably you was asking me what I'm using here. It's just a simple pencil. I guess it's HB. I didn't know that I have this paper. I was in Brazil in 2009, and here is the Ipanema Hotel. So they give me this pen in Ipanema. So I found this a couple days ago. So I say, oh, it can be nice for my sketching. So when you're sketching, you know, I suggest to you don't use a very soft pencil. HB or 2B maximum is okay for making the lines, because it depends how you take it, the pencil in your hands. When you're taking the pencil like this and you're writing, you push forces on the paper, and this is very important. I can recognize the sketcher when they're working in this way and say, well, it's okay. But when you find somebody sketching like this, you know, and making like this, you see, putting this here, has more control in the hands, I mean, in the drawing. So I say, well, that is important. So you see how easy is that? So we manipulated the pencil. Here is very slow, you know. But this is very important when you're sketching. Okay. Trying to make it a window.
What medium did you start in, Victor? Did you start as a watercolorist?
I started watercolor when I was in my school of architecture in 1966. So from there, I received all my instruction about how I can make watercolor. But the watercolor that I learned at that time was associated with architecture. So how I can use the watercolor to present my work, to explore it, to just design. And after that, I finished the career. I just started making architectural illustration for the architects. You know how much office you become very young in the field, so you need experience. So you started with architectural illustration. But with the time, I started using the brooches, and special brooches like this one to just design. I decided the shape of the building with this.
Is that the angle one?
Exactly. You see the shape of this? I don't know I don't know how the name of this brooches, but anyway, with this is very easy. I have demonstration in YouTube to using these brooches and how I can make buildings with that. New building, modern building. So when I come to United States, people was asking me if I had experience in architecture, and I said, no, I just coming. So they wanted my American experience. So I say, let me test me. So what do you want? So you want New Village, and they hired me in the same day. Yeah, it was so easy, so easy. So I working here for architect for Astorino. Maybe some of you know the firm. We designed the Children's Hospital, the PNC Park. So it was very exciting. We're doing jobs everywhere, including the Vatican and Rome. So it was very exciting career. I retired when I was 66, and I said, that's it. So now from 1966, no, 2006, sorry. From 2006, I started my career as an urban sketcher, So I started to making watercolor first, and slowly I involving in urban sketching about 7 years or 8 years ago. Since that, I traveling, me and my wife, everywhere, and we're sketching fast.
Do you use the ink, the pen and ink when you go out and sketch?
Well, exactly. I using here all this bag is full of pen. I using for penning, and this is pencil. So I using the 2 medium, and I using different kind of pen. My last one is this one. It's very. I have only a week with this one. It's very small, but it catching you very much in your hands. Why I say that? Very simple. If you taking this one and you writing like this, look at the shape of this. Look at the shape in between these 2 fingers here. When you match this design, it's exactly that coming in this space. It's perfect. This white.
Do you fill that with ink? Is that a fountain pen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And now, if you need any extend that, you can put it this, and the weight is the perfect one to just make a sketch.
Would you take your mask off?
Yeah.
Would you take your mask off so
Take it
we
out?
can hear you better? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was telling with somebody, me and my wife, we don't leave the house. Honestly, we don't leave the house. Why? Because I'm busy in house, just making art, And my wife is teaching at home, so we don't have contact with people. But I will take in this one. Thank you very much for your kindness. But anyway, this kind of pen, I have only a week, but I'm planning now to just making science sketching here with this tonight. I hope if I have time. But with this particular one, because it increased my, what you can see, the speed, the way I'm drawing. But anyway, let's go to continue. I hope I can. When you're sketching in this way, something? Oh, yeah. It's. Don't worry, we have these 2 cameras here for both sides, so you will see in the video all this drawing with more detail, And so every year I just traveling to Peru to training again a new student of architecture in Peru. We spent 3 weeks in the streets and the designing in the studio and talking about different techniques. And we making in the last 3 or 4 years a really a group that I open and incentivize him, encourage them to just using a watercolor as a tool of design. Not only that, using his sketchbook better, like using your computer to design by computer. The computer is so slow, and the computer is so stupid, not creating nothing new. We live in the world that we need to bring something new. It's not new. Don't talk about it. So they start to understand these techniques of watercolor are very important in the career of the architect. When I come here, nobody in my office, we are 200 employees, nobody there was using watercolor. So the owner of the office, Lou Azzurino, say mandatory from now for the next 3 years, all architects, draftsmen, secretary, whatever, you need to pass in plasma, Victor. So I teach in that for 3 years. Honestly, I got beautiful photographs in downtown Pittsburgh, sketching buildings. And after that, they become very fanatic of watercolor. They're using in the design, they increase the quality of the design.
When you go to sketch a building, say downtown Pittsburgh, how do you get the scale? Like, how do you know how big that it's going to fit on your paper?
Oh, there are systems how you calculate the hires. It's mostly in proportion. You just keeping your eyes training in proportion. The tall building.
Because you don't measure, right? You don't use a ruler. You don't
No,
measure.
no. Just freehand. The rollers need to be in freehand. That is very important. But yeah, I got a good experience with this architect too. There are universities here in the United States, the School of Architecture, and what is this thing? It's in Ohio. It's Cincinnati, the School of Architecture in Cincinnati, that they train it in the same way that was training. Some of the students come from practice, and everybody playing marvelous watercolor. So we were so happy that you're on the right way, And for example, this is not only important to just making this painting. I can do it here inside or maybe later. The most important, you want to see how whatever they're talking about. Let's go and start it with this. Okay. Amazing with this. Look at that. New building. I got another brooch. The artist, you see, shaking so much when there's water. This is excellent for this kind of. And there are so many accidents, beautiful accidents. People say, "Oh my God, your watercolor spilled." It's just an accident.
So you paint every single day now?
Excuse me?
You paint every day?
Oh, I painting every day. In groups now with the internet and Facebook and the people. We exchange sketching, architectural sketching with different ones in Egypt, everywhere. So. Now I know the artist, I'm the architect, I'm sorry. You change your face all the time, But for a few minutes. That's it.
Victor, we have another question for you. What's your favorite brand of watercolor paint?
Oh, I use only Daniel Smith. Please, if you're using another one, change Daniel Smith. It took me long to accept that because the range of colors that Daniel Smith have I couldn't see this anymore in another branches. So I have a series of palettes in my house. They are closed. I don't use it anymore. But this collection here, if somebody is interested in the color that I buy in Daniel Smith, trust me, you will improve it so much with this one. And it's very similar, almost 98% similar like tone. How's the name of this famous watercolorist and architect too? Shaler. Thomas Shaler. Thomas Shaler has a marvelous watercolors and architecture, mostly new buildings, old building, everything, and they're using almost the same color. So don't pay a little more attention on that color. If you want it, I can send to you, or I send to you by email, and you can make in everybody the same color. You see, this is whatever I do. You see. And after that, when you finish this one, and it's dry, you start to using the tea roller, and I start to just making light. At least you have an idea of what you want to do. You know, it's the beginning. It's the first shot. You know.
So you do the whole volume first, and then you come back in and do all the details?
Yes. The color size is only a pretext to just design or creating the shape. We start all the time with shape, you know. So, and after you start to refine, you can make 10 proposals, completely different one, two. So they put it in the wall, and we design what has more potential for present the client. So everybody jumping in the project. Oh, we doing here, and you know. But the beginning is very important, and this is the beginning. You know, everything needs to begin with something. In the final design, this is gone. Doesn't exist anymore. But it was the beginning of the idea to just bring it up, you know, the design. Okay. By the way, this paper is excellent too. It's my second page, so I use it. But I'm very impressed. I want to know how it is.
Would we be able to see? Could you pass that around and see what you've been working on there?
What are you talking
The
about?
one that you just set aside?
Yes.
Could we take a look at that?
Yeah. Please. Feel free.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does he always take it down like that? Keep it from wrinkling?
It's a block, so it shouldn't.
That's a block.
Isn't it? I think it's a block. Just to make a frame around the paper.
Okay.
So when he peels it up when it's done, it's not.
Victor, they were asking, do you always tape it down like that? Like
Yes.
mask it off the edge? And
Yeah. I check in my wife. If I talk too much, honey, you tell me, you know, because when I painting all the time, I like to talk with everybody, you know, explain it.
I heard him.
Now he's behind you. Hold on, he's on your. Sorry. I got him.
He's lying.
No, I'm not.
He's lying. Here, I'll come up on your butt.
I want to see the bottom.
Okay.
Saved my life.
Yeah. You'll be all right.
Thank you.
It won't even work. It's not a big one. No. She's just dramatic.
Just dramatic.
Victor's wife just suggested that if you would like to see what he's working on, if you know, not everybody at once, but if at times if somebody wants to walk up and like walk behind and you can see what's happening, you know, how the painting is progressing, we could do that.
Maybe one on each side, and you could take turns, because I'm sure there's an eagerness to find out what the person is kind of passion. So that gives you a chance to engage a little bit in the process.
Victor, can we pass around your color palette too? We're gonna steal everything.
It's only that page. The old ones in the back in my sketchbook is another palette. That's gone. Yeah, I don't use
But
it
this is the
anymore.
good one.
Yes, this is it.
Okay.
I need to tell you that you are in the sketch. I don't know in the old
Oh,
you.
dear. We're going to be famous.
So please forgive me if I make a mistake.
So we can't move now.
No. No, strike that pose.
Strike a pose.
I love your draftsmanship on your printing. Very neat.
Yes.
Architectural.
Yes. Immediately it's dry. I just jump it with pencil or pen and ink, and I started to making window, balconies, adding new colors, everything. This is just the skeleton, you know, it's the scratch, you know.
Did you draw a lot as a child? When you were a child, did you draw a lot?
No, not at all.
No?
No, I was asking my mother if they keeping some of the art. It was so average, you know, in the classroom we never see it. So I just started to do this when you see, this is wherever I have it.
Wow.
That's amazing.
There I am.
Beautiful sketch.
How'd you get all those straight lines? Yeah, how do you keep straight?
Years of architecture.
Practice. I got that ruler. Yeah, how do you deal with perspective?
Well, I try to use it. I mean, for the final ones, presentation precisely. In the end of my career, I was using a 3D programs, you know. So they model in 3D, and after they sketching. But when you render, the computer render, it was too plastic, you know, too. So they need to, after they move it from there, we need to transfer to watercolor paper and paint them from there. You know, I feel like I must have it here. Later I will show you my practice architecture. Okay, we are almost finished the drawing, so we can. We couldn't believe it, my wife. We just come in and we lost the street here. We go in different because I learned that don't trust in GPS anymore. We have the same thing like 10 days or 2 weeks ago. We go to Falling Water because I'm making a series of work in Falling Water. And they sent to us knowing the exit on Donegal, you know, wherever I know. They sent to me one exit before in the turnpike, and after we finished in the countryside, the mountains. But they say, make it left, make it right, you know. So it's something in our. A month ago, I started to move my office inside my car. It's safe, right? So yes, I buy a flat piece of wood in Amazon that they match it with your well. So we match it there. I had a surface like this side to just sit down there and sketching. So I'm sketching now. Very well. And I have it here, you know, we use them for drinking. I put my water there.
So you can sketch in any weather and cold and stay in your car.
In any condition now, you see? And now you see my palette have it, these things in the back. You see in the back, this thing, this stuff. They sound like you have the telephone, you know, to use them. So I can paint them like that, you know, so it's a little more easy. Okay, I feel I want to start it.
Do you work exclusively from life, or do you ever work with photographs?
If I paint it for,
Photographs.
You ever-
I use them both. You remember, they are in the sketcher. You know, the sketcher are very particular with that because you need to be outside. You need to demonstrate that you are outside and sketching and life. Well, I do them both. You know, so the most important is learning. The most important is that making the job. You know, what is the difference here? I'm watching here and I'm watching there. The professional watercolorists, you know, I mean, they're using the cell phone. It's the same thing. They're making the cell phone and start to painting. So. I don't believe in rules, you know. Sorry.
What's the largest size paper you work?
That's very important. The size of my, yeah, it's very important. The normal is, I was doing, this is the first time I using 11 by 14. But before I using 9 by 10, no, 9 by 12 and 8 by 10 here.
So
Okay.
you never go very big.
No anymore. For one reason. It takes long.
It's quicker.
I can't sketch in my car. And the another thing is, it's boring. You know, it's yeah, it's too much ego. You know, so I need to make in this portrait the best I can. You know, so I can have another client, and you know, so all the time thinking in beauty, but I'm thinking now in enjoyment.
Because you're so detailed, to go big
Yes,
would take so
yes.
long, right?
Yeah. Plus, no, I'm a big start in watercolor. I'm not. So I just surviving. I just surviving. Okay. Okay. You think I have it, the full drawing?
Wow. Look at all the people. Oh my God.
Yeah, you're in the back. I told you.
I see you.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I see you jacket for Pete. Yeah. Okay. So another thing that I doing is I using these cups, you know, for making my color. And I see how I can start it. The day started to getting dark. You know, if we are necessary to move inside, I don't care. Because what color? And brick is brick color.
Is it too
The
dark
sky
for you
is
to
in
work?
it.
Is it getting too dark for you
Is
to
this
see?
too dark for you guys? Please tell me so we can move it inside. You know, with the help some you.
Well, tell us when you can't see
Yes,
the
yes,
color.
okay. I will. I will.
You're the one doing the work.
That's right. I was making this look like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 or 5, you know. Yeah. Trying to put a little yellow here. You see here? Okay. And a little blue here. Makes sense.
Anyone who feels that they'd like to see more direct observation, please feel free to go around to either side, right or left, and just keep your mask on to be you know.
Yeah, don't leave me alone.
But by all means, you know.
You see? The eye is coming.
So are you working like wet on dry paper, or are you wetting the paper first?
No, I just
Whatever you feel like.
whatever. You see, I don't have rules, you know. Most be like this, but I know watercolor is, you know, so I sketch it, so, you know, just jump it. You know, sometimes I just getting wet, but it's because I want to get effect. But I can have it here, the clouds and it's much better, you know. And it's faster, you know what I mean? Yeah, is it? Ooh, this favorite.
So do you work like left to right or back to front?
I do it from the sky to the front. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Definitely. I'm using different flat brushes to just making more easy the colors in the. I want to start now with the sky. I mean the trees. Okay. Why I'm using flat brush is because I can control it better the edge of the building. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like this. Like that. That. A little bit of this color here. Okay. Now, I'm trying to, yes. Yeah. I got the tree in the back. I want to, this one. Start to painting. Making this a little ultramarine blue, and after I'm just making like that. And down here. Oops. Okay. Okay. You see? I already painted here
Pretty good.
all the sky and the tree. The tree is going to be the first layer, and later I need to add it another dark green, you know, in order to make it the contrast. Okay. But I have a tree here that I will like to start it to painting. So what I doing is put it a little French ochre. It's a beautiful color. To just make it like that, and after that, I just started to. make it like that. Okay. A little yellow here. Okay.
Victor, would we be able to pass around your samples while you're working?
You want to see my example? I have this box.
Yeah, can we do that? Can we pass it around?
Sure.
Okay.
This is my sketching that I have a sketched that I had in a sketchbook here.
just gonna take
This
all
is
this
full
stuff.
of my watercolor here in sketchbook, and this is whatever I do in the streets.
Okay.
You know, the another one has another pieces, so maybe we need
Should I bring a
another
table? Yeah. I'll bring a
It
table
can
out.
be wonderful for everybody,
Mhm.
you know, to see that. Thank you. You see, in this moment, I just finished this tree behind you guys in the corner. This is the tent here. I don't started to making the tent, but whatever you can see here is this is not the color that you see there. You transform in your sketch the color that you want. You want something attractive because the day is finished, and it's how much in the sketch you can improve the view. That is the goal. It's not paint exactly as I said. Because you paint exactly as I said, you see the brick, it's a beautiful mansion, but the brick is brick and it's beautiful in the morning. Probably the sun is coming from this, I don't know. It coming here is very romantic. Hey, take a photograph. But we are an artist. It changes. Changing the reality. This is the big message of everything. People say, "Oh, this tree is not at all whatever I see it." The only thing that we need to respect is the shapes of the house. You know? Okay. I was trying to make it the first. The bricks. No. Okay. This is wow.
Victor,
Yes, sir.
with these sketches here, did you do the sketch in pencil, then do the watercolor? No.
Directly in ink.
Ink and then watercolor.
Yeah, ink and watercolor. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's dramatic. Yeah. We're going to be in that. We're going to be like that. We'll be famous.
This one was in a Fifth Conservatory, so I was teaching sketching in the Fifth Conservatory for a year, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. So what we're doing is, during the day we cannot do anything. So I take the classes at night. When everybody moves and they start to clean in the Fifth Conservatory inside, we just come into sketch. So we sketch with the no natural light, with the lighting, the little lighting that they use in there. It was so different to see everything. So I said, why do you think? Well, you pay more attention because there's less light, you know. But nice enough, you know, to just make the sketching. When it's full light, you close your eyes. You're making the base. But when they're reducing, like at this moment, you put more attention to everything because you need information. You know, you got it. Okay.
Do it to myself. I didn't want to watch it here either.
Okay. Okay. Trying to make it this one. Yes. I have more control for etching, straight etching with my flat brush. You know, this brush here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No. I'm making like this.
today? Okay.
Victor, we have another question for you.
Sure.
When you do your pen and ink, do you do that over the watercolor? Or do you do the pen and ink first and then the watercolor on top?
Well, the process is first of all pen and ink, because the pen and ink need to be waterproof ink.
Okay.
So when you have the waterproofing, guarantee that after 2 minutes it's completely dry, and after you can start to sketching, because all my sketching that you watch there is basically I'm using 2 colors. It's black. It's called the black platinum, and the another one I'm using is sepia. Whatever I like it from sepia is because the sepia is associated with some colors and watercolor and almost disappearing. When you put the colors over sepia, it's not like a black. So associate immediately to any colors. And this is great because it looks like a pencil or dark pencil, something like that, you know.
So ink first, then watercolor.
Yeah, watercolors is the last thing, yeah, definitely.
Any other questions?
Okay. This window is very completely black.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And this one is red. How is the camera? Good. Okay. You know what? I cannot see anymore.
I was wondering about that. Thank you.
Okay, here is whatever I have it. Yeah, and unfortunately, I need to finish in my studio or somewhere. Yeah. And but this is basically that one. If we can move it inside, I can make another sketches in with more light, because definitely I was planning to just making this one. I'm trying to sketch in to painting one previous sketch that I have it. Let me show you. This is the lighthouse. The England in the Smithfield Bridge in downtown, and the England go all the way up. You see the England here, I sketching this with, I was planning to finish this in here with watercolor on the top, but I definitely need more light
You
here.
would need more light than that, yeah.
Yeah. In the sky here, the sky, and I will, in the photo it's blue. It's okay, you know, but it's too flat. I like more activities, in the sky, you know, the colors need to be more chromatic, you know, in that cases, I'm going to, first of all, I need to take all the colors that I'm using here and clean it. So, take it. Like that. Okay, good. Okay. I'm using this one. Ooh, my water was on. Maybe.
more water, Bertram?
Yes. Can you? Yes. Okay, thank you. Can we plug in somewhere?
Where we at?
By the door.
Okay. So we have it. Ooh, bingo. Okay. This cut is very important because you can keep it the colors. Everybody using this probably, yeah. And sometimes it getting dry, sometimes for 2 or 3 days, but after you add the water, you know, you can use it again. So it's no wasting. I make this drawing with this pen. Okay? Thank you. To the top.
What kind of pen is that?
To the top.
To the top?
Yeah. Sorry.
I got fired.
Okay. So one thing is in sketching is the way that you're making the stroke in your sketching. Normally, I was trying to make the sketch here, how I'm making the trees on the hill. Imagine this is the tree on the hill, okay? So first of all, softly, I just making the shape of the tree here, like this, okay? And after that, you're starting to making different texture here. Doesn't matter if it's precise or no, because it's so long, the distance is so far away that you don't need to develop or drawing very schematic thing. You see this one? Like that. Just making the curves on the tracks. Okay? So this is the idea here with this particular one.
Should we pass that around?
Yeah.
So what type of a pen is that?
What kind of?
Your pen?
Yeah.
What is it? What brand?
I can send you to the. I buy this in Amazon. Okay. I don't have here the information exactly, but I will give somebody here.
Thank you.
Okay. Don't worry. We'll find out. Okay. So I start to preparing my colors. So in this case, we're using yellow at the top, and blue at the top and yellow at the bottom. Okay. Cobalt blue. So I have my two colors. Cobalt blue. So on the top, I start. See? We're making a little clouds there. You say just moving the brushes in this way, so you start to create the clouds here. In the same way here. And after I put a little of violet over there, little bit. This brush is unbelievable. I mean, the way that performance on the paper, just move it, you know, and creating shapes. You see? Every day this brush surprises me. I know I'm using this for a long time. It's just maybe 4 months or something like that. But you see the shape of the clouds there? Very interesting. It's just switching the brush on the paper, okay? And little by little, I started to add the gel there. I will start it in the top with yellow ochre. It's a little warm. Or French ochre, you know, that's the real name of the color. And after, little more clouds there. And I have this one. You see? We finished the step number 1. This is the sky and the clouds and the bottom a little yellow there. So I try to just wait a little bit to just get it dry in order to starting with the house. Okay. When you're an urban sketcher, so we traveling different places, and we had a meeting every year in different countries. The first time that we were with my wife, it was my first meeting with urban sketcher was in Chicago in 2007. And we traveled to Chicago, about 700 members. Can you believe it? 700 members walking in the street? Well, we need policemen and everybody, you know. But after we get it in the park, we sprayed to different part of the city. You know, it was different instructors, you know, with a group, if you want it. But in my case, I don't need an instructor, so I go with friends, a group of 3 or 4. The next one was in Porto. The group is called, this international group is called USK. So if you want to look in this in the internet, you will find urban sketching. So in Porto, we were 850. And the next year, 2019, was in Amsterdam, and we passed the 1,000. In 2019, it was the big event in everywhere. And after came the COVID, so we don't do anything more. Okay? So there are groups, the urban sketching in every city. Here in Pittsburgh, There are one group is called Peaceful Urban Escape Peaceful. You can find this in Facebook. So it's a group that go outside to a sketching group. And I have parallel to this group another group that I'm the administrator. It's called Peaceful Sketcher Group. It's in the Facebook, so you will see all my work there and all the members. When, we put it there. Okay, let me. I don't try to use it too much one. You know why? Because they take the color from the paper, and make it more light. Okay, now that I have it as, I will use it. Here is it. I'm using this 3 brushes here. Now, as you see in the photo, it's dark green because it was taken a week ago. So we started to change the color of the tree. Well, all the time you say what you need to do is you want to keep it that colors or you can change it. So I was trying to change it. So I use in sap green, a little bit, with yellow and blue. Okay? So we'll start it to use painting. Okay. So I'm painting wet and wet. Okay? It's my first flyer on the trees. Okay. When you paint in watercolor, you all the time need to be sure that it's the right colors and everything. When you are a sketcher, you lose the control. Time is important. So you just taking the first color that you can have it, in front of you. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much for inviting me tonight, to be with you.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Your work
Thank
is
you.
so beautiful.
Thank you.
The sketchbooks are just amazing.
I did hear. Yeah. Okay. Okay. The only thing is that I don't painting is the building. Okay, the implant building and the boundary hill. The rest is basically painted. Okay, I will try to use it now Viridian, what is a nice color. So remember, in the hills, in the top are more exposed of light. So you're working between yellow and sap green. But how you going down, the color starts to change. It's a little more dark. So I start to using Viridian there. I put a more extra blue in the mix. Okay? ready to use any water. But no, it's okay. In the bottom I have 3 cars that I'm not going to paint it. So I'm just keeping the shape. Okay. You see, this is the way I'm doing now.
Wow, that was different.
It's coming. You need to be fast. Fast is better. Yeah. Fast is better. Okay. So we end it off. I add a little more of the salt green and a little yellow in some areas. Okay, that's okay. So I got the photo, but it's only a reference. You know, that I'm doing good. Maybe I will pay attention when I paint the building. But after that, in trees change the whole year colors. So what is a tree? I mean, it's okay. We started trying to finish as soon as possible. Okay. More viridian. See? Trying to finish now in the bottom. I like this. You see the sharp point that they have here? Immediately you pinch the paper here and don't make it too much pressure. You take it only the point. It's super detailed. You can make very fine lines there. You put your finger here, so you keep in the distance. So this brush is unbelievable shape. To just make them very sharp.
Is that the only shape you use when you paint? Is
Yeah,
the angled brushes?
Yeah, I can send you information about this brush, but it's a Skoda. Here is the information. It's 1.25 inches Perla Skoda. The Skoda is the company. It's from Barcelona, Spain. Synthetic. That's it. The series is called Perla. You know.
So you don't use round brushes or any
I'm using
shapes?
brown brushes not much in the last 4 months since I have this watch. I have more control. You know, so I say I use some brown brushes almost all the time. I say, why not this one? I mean, in architecture, it's perfect. I have 2 sizes, and this is the same series, Perla, and this is 1.5 inch, and this is 1/4.
And the whole painting is just those 2 brushes?
Yes. This is for the air. I paint in this, the sky.
Okay.
This is mostly for the sky, and this is for more detail in trees, and, you know, included, I'm trying to make in portraits using this one. It was detailed for eyes, and incredible. You know, these 2 are Perla, but this is the people, the everybody knows the round. One is natural hair, another is Perla, it's synthetic. All these 2 are synthetic too. You know, 3 synthetic, and that's all Skoda, you know. It costs a little more, but you know, performance, it's important too. Okay. Now, when you're making sketching the size of your watercolor sketchbook, or in this case, you know, this block, watercolor block, is very important. It cannot be bigger size. This is probably the bigger size I can suggest to you. But bigger like that is it's almost impossible. You know, sketching in the street is heavy, or you know, you cannot do it. It's the difference between sketching and plein air. It's the size of the art, you know. So I'm using another stool, you know, for sketching too. It's very easy to manage that, the angles and everything. But it's too heavy. So what I found is this one, simple one. You just put it here in the hands and you can sketch there.
Can we see where you are now?
And this one, what?
Turn it around again so we can see the paint.
Oh yes. You see, this is the simple one. I have this for years, you know. So, and I have different size too. This is the medium size. I have a little bigger too. Okay, you need a little time, you know, to just get dry. I'm going to start to paint the building. The first thing I'm going to paint now is the top. The break in the drawing using my red. Okay. And I start painting. Oh. Oh. Okay, you see, I see the brick of the building in the bottom. Now it's need to be dried a little bit in order to making the roof. You see, I take it all the light, traffic light there. I don't put it all these pools. I'm trying to just clean it, you know, the view. You know, when you take photo, you cannot clean it. So use the Photoshop, of course. But when you're sketching, you're selecting the objects that you needed for your painting. Included, you can add it. You know, you say, oh, I needed, if I added something here, you know, a new tree, I need 3 here, you know, oh, add it. It's up to you. Okay, I finished with the break. Another thing I discovered with sketching is these accidents. You're painting one, you're painting another one, and they mix them. You know, you say, oh my God, I'm making the color. No, it's beautiful. You know, the accident, it has another side. It's the beginning of this is just change you. I mean, this is no mistake, it's just an accident. And after you work with this accident, and this mixing, wet and wet, when they're mixing the 2 colors, you can put more accent there, or increase the color there, and it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. Okay. Trying to find the color for the roof. It's not green, it's like a dark gray.
Also, I'm sure the same is outside. You can get up and take a look at what he's working on. Don't feel you have to stay in your seats.
We're all waiting for the video.
That you will get.
Okay. Okay, the roof is finished there. In this case, I need to put more increase now. The paper is dry, so I can increase the color of the green. Okay? But I noticed that it takes me so long. I'm making, I will change the brush because it's too small, the another one. I will start, oh, I hope it works. Oh yes, it works. So I can finish more fast, you know, faster. Okay. You see? I'm painting the top. I mean the trees. I was thinking maybe put a little purple there. Sometimes it's taking a little risk, you know, you're sketching. Because finally you later can say, oh no, yes, was a sketch. You know, if there's watercolor, you know, say, ooh, we need to be careful. Do you hear about this project that we're making the people, all the people from Pittsburgh, to just build the chapel for the Pope in the Vatican? It was in 1996. John Connolly was the name. He donated $25 million to making the chapel for the Pope. So, in name, knowing his name, but in name of the people of Pittsburgh. So we ran the project. So before you present the project to the Pope in person, we're just making a big model. You know, the St. Peter was only beside St. Peter. And everything in enormous model, you know, Plus, you need to make the watercolor for the pot. So I said, Victor, and we thinking you can do it. So I need to draw in with the most finest brushes I can have it, you know, the lines for the windows from the shop. It was a marvel. I will send to you the print of that. It was a beautiful elevation of the building and the floor plans of the building, of the chapel. And I had the opportunity to go with my wife to go to the Vatican during the project. And I was thinking that is just part of the myths, you know, the architect like Michelangelo presented, you know, the dome and everything. No, it's a rule. That protocol is very important. You don't receive the proof of the fault, you know. I apply now the more green. You see, the character of the green is starting. You know? You can see that. You can appreciate the building after you put the shadows, because make it more in three-dimensional, the building. But for having that, you need to be very dry then. Okay.
Now, is that waterproof ink?
Yeah.
So you can go either way.
This
You can
is
either
I use
sketch
it
first.
always.
Always
Waterproof,
waterproof?
always. It's very dangerous using another one because, you know, in watercolor. But the way that you're just making for example, this is the heel, you know. Whatever you do it, I mean, hatching is very important to learn it. There are books for hatching, you know, how included, if you see the books of Rembrandt, the street of Rembrandt was right there, making skirts. That is the street of Rembrandt. I learned it, I have a collection of all his drawings to find it, you know, how he do it, this marvelous sketching, you know, and then sketching right there. The tree here, for the sketching, and the bottom, just make it like that. You know, and the back is the towers of the castles, or people walking around it. It's this, and I think they put more emphasis in some points.
You make it look easy.
Yes.
Fast and confident.
You see, I mean, this is it's excellent sketching for starting, you know, to learn it, and how Rembrandt was doing that things, and after you just put the colors and you see, because it's water. You see? Easy.
So
It's only, yeah, you know what? The best way to starting sketching and enjoy life is just go to Howard Acres. That's good. Okay. It's yes, a phone. In Howard Acres or forest, you know, and just sit down there. And I'm making this, I'm making curves. Just open a book of reference, you know, open his sketching, and in Google they have many of them on there. So it's basically, nature is so beautiful to start into sketching. I suggest to you all the time, don't make a building immediately. Don't make a portrait. It's so, you know, difficult that. And start with nature. Nature will let you friendly to just come in the work. Friendly
Much more
because
forgiving, yeah.
yeah, if you make a mistake in tree, nobody will know.
Right.
Nobody will know it.
Yes.
You know, you making a mistake making this beautiful firework, or you making say, oh, you know, it's okay, you started, but you know. I think nature is perfect. All the best workshop I'm making is all the time to start nature.
That's a great suggestion.
Or the field conservatory making the trees, you know, the trees making the trees. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's good for
Thank you.
tonight.
Thank you.